PragerU. Killing comedy. I don't know what this is about. This was uploaded 2 days ago. Let's do it. The picture here, the thumbnail, has a bee. It looks like the Babylon Bee logo. Babylon Bee. The bee is like dead in the thumbnail. The implication here is that Babylon Bee is killing comedy, which I agree with. Babylon Bee is not funny. The people at Babylon Bee look like they desperately want to be like The Onion, except none of them at Babylon Bee know how to make a joke. They don't know that there's a structure that goes into a joke, so they just kind of make a vague gesture like The Onion would. Only the people at The Onion are actually smart and know how to write. Anyway, let's take a look. It's called Killing Comedy, but I have a feeling it's going to be killing us.
The world has become too absurd to be satirized.
Well, I disagree. Let's hear it.
The great English writer G.K. Chesterton said that way back in 1911, long before math was considered racist and biological men were allowed to compete against women in sports.
Holy shit, we're loading a whole bunch into the front of this. All right, this one's good. This is a good PragerU video. How is math considered racist? What the fuck? Anti-racist academics say that math and focusing on right and wrong answers is a product of racism. What? This feels kind of incomprehensible, just glancing at it. The idea that math is culturally neutral or in any way objective is a myth. I'm ready to move on with this understanding. Who's coming with me? Of course, math is neutral because 2.2 equals 4 trope and the related and creepy math is pure, protect math, reeks of white supremacy patriarchy. It feels like that oh god, it's Fox News. It feels like this second example is just like one nut job. And what's this? A toolkit in Oregon? Oregon Department of Education encouraged teachers to register for training that encourages ethno-mathematics and argues, among other things, white supremacy manifests itself in the focus on finding the right answer. Okay, I guess I can see that. Error 404 not found. Okay, well, that's useless. And this page is Pathway to Equitable Math Instruction. View the micro course flyer. Not found. For more information, visit equitablemath.com. We are going deep into this. I don't want to fucking download it. What? Okay, dismantling racism in math instruction. I'd like, oh my god, 54 minutes.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to point out we are now 5 links in to trying to find the source for this.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our deep dive webinar for Stride 1.
And it's a fucking webinar. Okay, you know what? Fuck you, PragerU. I don't care. This is what they do. They try to add so much bullshit to distract you.
And biological men were allowed to compete against women in sports.
Biological men were allowed to compete against women in sports. Okay. Yeah, we gotcha. We're talking about killing comedy, I would add, and the trans people are coming for your daughters.
One can only imagine what he would say if he were alive today.
He'd probably scream and scratch at the top of his coffin.
At the Babylon Bee, where we write satire for a living, we're feeling Chesterton's pain in a big way.
Is that what you write?
Just look at these headlines that were satirical at the time we wrote them. On May 9th, 2017, we ran this headline. 2 + 2 = 4, insists close-minded bigot.
What's the joke, though? I'm sorry, can you explain the joke here? A joke has a setup and a punchline. 2 + 2 = 4 is the setup. The punchline is he's a closed-minded bigot? That doesn't fit. 2 + 2 = 4 is not related in any way. This reminds me of that VeggieTales sketch where they have a robot and it's like all the humor is randomly generated. It's like, why did the chicken cross the road? And the robot like calculates it and he goes, weed eater. Like, it's not funny, but that's the future. And that's Babylon Bee.
That was a joke, of course. But on August 10th, 2020...
Oh, thank you for telling me it was a joke, because I didn't know it was.
The Washington Examiner published this story. Math professor claims equation 2 + 2 = 4 reeks of white supremacist patriarchy.
Okay.
On August 13th, 2020, we ran this headline.
Oh, he didn't actually explain it. I hoped he would. Hold on. That's nice because I have the link open here. Math education professor, New York City, claimed the equation 2 + 2 = 4 reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. You know what? Hold up, guys. I'm gonna take some acetaminophen. This is gonna hit me in a few minutes. I can tell. Oh, God. Lori Rubel. Here's another repeat on loop. Of course math is neutral because 2 plus 2 equals 4. Rely on that supposed axiom to then target people, and especially women, for coordinated ridicule and harassment. Never stray from this loop because it's easy to engage Tom, Dick, and Harry to engage. Wait, what? That sentence is confusing. The way that math or data is culturally neutral or in any way objective is a myth. I'm ready to move on and take that. I'm ready to move on with that understanding. Who's coming with me? To her credit, it's all still up. Well, I mean, in a way, we did kind of invent it, didn't we? Like we invented the number 2 and 4, and someone back in the Middle East fucking wrote this out. Someone wrote these numbers out a long time ago. Now we could say we have a mathematical. Now you can say there are constants in nature, like for example, hydrogen has 1 electron, helium has 2 electrons, and so on. And I think that's probably as close as that's probably like as basic and as close to an example of the numbers existing in probably the closest we can get to a universal truth, at least for numbers, is probably something like that. But rely on that supposed axiom to then target people for coordinated ridicule and harassment. It seems like this sentence is referring to people who say 2 plus 2 equals 4 as an excuse for some other dumb bullshit that they want to say. Like the guy in the PragerU video said, oh, we let biological men play against women. And okay, and then you try to, maybe we'll try to analyze that a little bit more. Let's look into it. Let's see what you're actually saying here. And their defense would be 2 plus 2 equals 4, which is not the same claim as we're letting biological men play against women. 2 entirely different claims. And the idea that math is culturally neutral. Okay. There's true. I'd like to hear more. What is math washing? God. See, PragerU, I'm doing the deep dive for you because PragerU won't. Okay? Might need more acetaminophen soon. Okay, when power and bias hide behind the facade of neutral math, this is how it works. This is what I wanted. There are 2 types. Accidental, when good intentions are combined with lack of knowledge and naive expectations. Women less likely to be shown ads for high-paid jobs on Google, study shows. On purpose. Because people don't question decisions from a neutral algorithm, this faith can be abused. Former Facebook workers, we routinely suppress conservative news. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Guys, PragerU, this might be agreeing with you. And you're citing it as a bad example? Oh, no. Oh, no. 2 things you should realize. 1, people design algorithms. Which data to use, how to weigh it. Ding, ding, ding. People who use negative words on Twitter should have a lower employability score. An algorithm will decide the optional gerrymandering map. Oh, that's true. We should detect when our cars are being tested and only then burn fuel efficiently. Ooh. Data is not automatically objective either. This is very true. Now, PragerU, and like this person said, other people say 2 plus 2 equals 4. But hey, you take an introduction to statistics. Let me try that sentence again. You take an introduction to statistics course, and you're gonna see, oh yeah, a lot of data can very easily be manipulated or flawed if it's not collected correctly. For example, if you do, I want to do a survey talking about people's political opinions. But we're only going to call landlines. We're only going to call landline phone numbers. Who the fuck still has a landline anymore? Probably old boomers. Really old people still have landlines. That's usually it. Younger people don't have... Yeah, younger people usually have cell phones now. When I mean younger, I mean like Gen X and down. So not super young. And even a lot of baby boomers too. So just by nature of that, all the data that we have is skewed for that older audience and skewed for whatever they're going to want to believe, or for whatever older, maybe more conservative people would already have. So all that data is already flawed just by the the methodology and how we're collecting it is immediately flawed right off the bat. So yeah, not automatically objective. It's also why you're supposed to do double-blind studies, There's a whole lot that goes into it. You should take a stats class. Of all the classes I took in college, that's probably like the one that I learned the most in. Okay, you know what? Good enough. I don't care. Babylon Bee.
BLM rioters awarded Nobel Peace Prize. At the time, we thought this was obvious satire, but on January 29th, 2021, this story was published in The Guardian. Black Lives Matter movement nominated for Nobel Peace Prize.
These are not the same thing. Hey, dipshit! You say here rioters. You say here movement. I get it. Both of them have black in the name, so you think they're all the same. You think it's bad no matter what. But these two sentences are fundamentally different.
On March 25th,
it doesn't even carry on.
2020, we ran this headline. Pants sales plummet as everyone working from home. The very next day, this story appeared in Yahoo Finance. Amid coronavirus, Walmart says it's seeing increased sales of tops, but not bottoms.
I don't get the point.
I could go on.
Also, you could argue that, like, proper satire is supposed to have, like, a grain of truth to it, so... none of these are funny, my guy.
Our satirical headlines are proving to be prophetic with astonishing regularity.
Oh, God. No. You know what's more prophetic than Babylon Bee ever will be? The Grand Theft Auto series. Like, I thought it was satire at first. It was prophecy. All of it's true.
So what does this mean for humor and satire? Well, for one thing,
I don't know. It
makes our job much more difficult.
Okay, hold up. First off, people at The Onion don't fucking cry about this. Okay? They just get it out. For example, okay, yeah, here's a good one. From a few months ago. Sympathetic police know what it's like to have a bad day and kill 8 people. See, that's a little bit punchier than the Babylon Bee titles you just cited. But, you know, Babylon Bee is fundamentally a conservative institution. They don't want to challenge power quite like The Onion is here. They think challenging the woke, challenging black people is power. Challenging power. It's not. You're just kicking down again.
You might be surprised to hear that. The crazier reality is, the easier it is to make fun of, right?
Okay, again, like, if you're, like, of a creative mind, then it's not a problem. The day a tragedy happens, you're gonna have jokes the same day. Like, I'm like that. Comedians are like that. Gilbert Gottfried was like that on 9/11. He's like, I had jokes ready for it the day of. If you got a creative mind, you got a funny mind, you're smart, you know how to do it. Comedians don't fucking cry about it. They just get it out and do it.
Actually, it's the opposite. Satire exaggerates the truth to make a point. But when reality is this absurd and extreme views and behavior are commonplace, how do you go a step beyond it?
You guys notice that he said he writes comedy? Well, he hasn't said anything funny yet.
Almost anything we publish now ends up being believable. And much of it ends up actually coming true, as you've just seen.
I mean, that's kind of what satire is, but...
This is exactly what Chesterton was talking about. It's one of the ways the left is killing satire. By turning reality into a parody of itself.
Okay. What do I even say here?
Another, more intentional and insidious way the left is killing satire, and that's through censorship.
You know, for a comedian guy, like, you sound just like every other conservative fearmonger you see on Fox News for the last 30 years. Talking about how the left is coming for you. Bill Clinton's gonna take your guns. Now we're being censored. None of these things have ever happened. Have you noticed that? Now you call yourself prophetic because some of your titles are, like, kind of true. Oh, wow. Because of COVID, people are staying home, so people stop buying pants. That means the Babylon Bee is prophecy and everything we say is going to come true. Now let me tell you how the left is killing comedy and they're going to censor you and come for you.
We published
Yeah, you primed yourself up there, but it's
an article a couple of
bullshit.
years ago with this over-the-top headline.
Okay.
CNN purchases industrial-sized washing machine to spin news before publication.
Oh God. Now is he gonna say they bought an actual washing machine?
Believe it or not, Snopes fact-checked this story. I mean, come on, a washing machine to spin the news? That's an
Yeah, Snopes fact checks it because dumbass conservative boomers spread it all over the internet and it gets like millions of views. I started like actually following Snopes like right before the 2016 election, and it was mind-boggling to me the amount of bullshit that people believe. And let's be real here. It's mostly only conservatives and mostly Americans.
obvious joke. But Snopes fact-checked it and rated it false, as if
Yeah, no, that's an indictment of your side, idiot. That's not an indictment of Snopes.
we'd written a serious story. It
Yeah.
used to be.
Hold on, let's check it out. Check this out. I guarantee you I'm going to pull up the page and it's going to say Babylon Bee calls itself Satire. Hold on, let's find it. Here it is. Yep, I found it. Did CNN purchase an industrial-sized washing machine to spin news? The news media organization reportedly invested in mechanical assistance to help the journalists, news anchors spin news for publications. Labeled satire. Dude, what the fuck are you crying about? You fucking baby! Although it should have been obvious, the Babylon Bee piece was just a spoof of the ongoing political brouhaha over alleged news media bias and fake news. Some readers missed that aspect of the article and interpreted it literally. Well, there you go. That's fucking why.
It used to be that jokes were either funny or not. They made you laugh, or they didn't.
Well, you're right.
But now in the fact-checking age, we're giving them a truth rating. Jokes are no longer funny. They're false.
Wow, okay. So here's an example of a website that literally fact checks everything. And oh, this is how the left kills comedy. Oh, it's not the fault that our audience of dumb Christian conservatives like believe this stuff and share it. No, it's the fault of Snopes and the left. Because we can't make jokes anymore without it being labeled as false. No, this is your own fault. If it's not obvious, it's a joke. Like, you fucked up somewhere along the line.
And false information is dangerous.
Okay. You are making a whole lot of assumptions in between here. Hey, it started with we were prophecy, and now it's like, the left-wing media is labeling us as false, and false news is dangerous. This is how they censor us. Remember, we're prophets. We're prophetic.
In response to the Snopes fact check, Facebook warned us that we'd be demonetized and deplatformed if we continued publishing fake news.
I'm willing to bet this was probably shared by like millions of people, and you dinged something from them. There's also a subreddit some of y'all may know of called Insane People Facebook, and it shares a lot of people, usually conservatives. It shares a lot of them believing this dumb bullshit. It's like every day there's several posts like it.
It should go without saying that there's a big difference between fake news, which is meant to deceive, and satire, which is meant to entertain and inform through mockery, humor, and irony.
But Snopes called you that. Snopes didn't call you fake news. What is this?
But the left benefits by blurring this distinction.
What?
If they can successfully lump us in with fake news, then they can shut us down.
What? I thought that was you guys. I thought CNN was fake news. Now we're calling you fake news? These fascists are never consistent. Okay, I think that's like the hallmark of someone being a fascist, is they are just so inconsistent with their arguments that they jump back and forth between them for whatever is most relevant in the moment. That doesn't necessarily make someone a fascist. I think that's just like kind of the early warning sign.
It's that simple. These fact checks, which often smear us by suggesting we're purposefully misleading people, are nothing more than a creative, conniving way of justifying censorship.
There's over 7 billion people in the world. Wouldn't it make sense that, you know, some of them don't get satire, some of them don't get humor, either because, like, English isn't their first language, they miss the nuance, they don't know what the word means, the word satire means, they just read the headline and go with it, or maybe they have some sort of mental condition that prevents them from picking up on it, or maybe they're just really stupid. It would make sense to have some people say, no, this isn't real, just to explain it to these people. Because, you know, hey, sometimes I've discovered sometimes we really have to fucking baby these people because they just aren't operating in reality.
Are nothing more than a creative, conniving way of justifying censorship.
Conniving kind of sounds like the Jews, let's be honest here.
But why would anyone want to censor satire?
Why would anyone want to censor satire? Dog, nobody's censoring you. Getting an article from Snopes is not censorship! You moron! I probably will get an article from them one day. I don't like Babylon Bee. Babylon Bee's not funny. Hey, that rhymed. Babylon Bee's not funny. They deliberately pandered to some really dumb people who might just automatically believe some of the more ridiculous headlines that they have. But, like, I haven't seen anything from them that makes me, like, hate them or want them gone or anything. I haven't seen anything from them that I would consider, like, damaging. Maybe I haven't seen enough. I don't think anyone wants this for these guys. Now, Tucker Carlson, on the other hand, yeah, I'm fine with that. You know, after he got vaccinated, now he's telling people not to get vaccinated. Okay, fuck that guy. Nope, fuck that. You don't get to do that. Fuck that. Nope. We talk, what, fire in a crowded theater? Well, yeah, I think that's pretty close. Fire in a crowded theater, and then, like, it's not that you're just causing a disruption, it's that your actions are causing people to die because people trample each other on the way out. So that's telling people not to get the vaccine on your big public platform. Oh yeah, that's, in my opinion, that's pretty much equivalent. I don't think Babylon Bee's done anything like that, so why would anyone want this?
Why is Facebook paying USA Today to write lengthy refutations of our jokes? Yes, they are.
Maybe because dumbasses believe them? Maybe because you're not really good at writing jokes? Snopes has articles on The Onion, but, you know, the audience for The Onion, it doesn't have much of an overlap with your audience. The audience for The Onion, a little bit smarter, a little bit more discerning.
Actually do that. Because humor is ultimately a vehicle for truth delivery, and the truth can be offensive. Think about...
So he's got...
Humor is ultimately a vehicle for truth delivery, and the truth can be offensive.
So humor is a vehicle for truth delivery, and but you're driving the vehicle with your own website, aren't you? Because you call yourself comedians. So you have your own washing machine to spin the news.
Think about all the things you're not allowed to say in
and hold on, one more thing.
And the truth can be offensive.
And the truth can be offensive. At no point in any of this video did the topic of something being offensive come up. You were crying about Snopes, like Snopes writing an article on you. Snopes fact-checked us! This is leftist censorship! And now it's offensive? Huh?
Think about all the things you're not allowed to say anymore. Not because they're false.
I can't scream the N-word anymore!
But because they make people uncomfortable.
I can't call my secretary a hot piece of ass! This is leftist censorship! Yeah, and back in the old days, if I went into the office and I said, you know what? I think that Malcolm X guy has some good points. Yeah, you guys would have been offended at me too. So, quit your whining. This is how humans interact. This is language.
Satire cuts right through the pretense and political correctness to expose uncomfortable truths. And it does so more ruthlessly and effectively than anything else.
Well, he's right, but they don't do it. For example, let's go to The Onion. Palestinian family who lost home in airstrike takes comfort in knowing this is all very complicated. Okay, he's right. That cuts through it. For comparison, let's look at the Babylon Bee stuff. Planned Parenthood celebrates as they approach their 10th Holocaust. That, little tasteless, little weird. Okay. Biden revealed to be robotic human suit controlled by tiny Jimmy Carter. I don't get it. Buzzing now. Biden proposes $2 trillion bill to study what's causing inflation rates to rise. 7 dangerous books that could radicalize your child. With birthing person's day over, families prepare for lawn mowing person's day. Biden thankful for gas crisis to distract from inflation crisis, unemployment crisis, and border crisis. Okay, almost a joke there, but I'm not laughing. Comparison. Look at the Onion's top articles. Japan Ambassador Rahm Emanuel asks new host for best black site recommendations. Parents can't believe how bad daughter is at being raised by them. Great Clips introduces new buy one, get one to fix haircut they messed up. I'm sorry. The quality control of these two websites is night and day. You're not cutting through much bullshit, I'm afraid.
C.S. Lewis said, good philosophy must
Yes.
exist if for no other reason, because bad philosophy needs to be answered.
Yes.
Satire is necessary.
That's why I have this channel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. PragerU. They solved it. They answered it. They explained it. Beautiful. I love it.
For the same reason. Satire ridicules bad ideas. And now, more than ever, bad ideas need to be exposed for what they are before they gain an even bigger foothold on our minds and hearts.
There was like cockroaches there.
Especially as need to be exposed for what they are before they gain an even bigger foothold on our minds and hearts.
Isn't that what Snopes is doing? And then you fucking cried about it?
Especially on the minds and hearts of young people.
Oh, man.
And while good philosophy and rational
man.
argumentation are indispensable, it's often humor that's most effective. To quote our friend G.K. Chesterton once more, humor can get in under the door, while seriousness is still fumbling at the handle.
Okay.
I'm Seth Dillon, CEO of the Babylon Bee for Prager University.
Are all of these fucking incoherent now? Excuse me, conservative guy. You say you're CEO of the Babylon Bee, a website which writes a comedy. I can't help but notice you didn't actually make any jokes in this video. Kind of funny. That is kind of funny. Very funny. Okay, good enough. Whatever. Stupid. Trash. End this segment. Babylon B, more like Babylon C. Me after class. Do not pass go. Horrible. This is unacceptable quality. You cannot turn an essay in like this. Who raised you? What school did you go to? This is wrong. Were you homeschooled? Because this is written like someone who was homeschooled. Okay. Thank you to the April patron backers. Dios, Ian Diavy, Elsie Hupp, George, Irene Schaefer, James Paul, Jari Palamo, Laura Day, Mellow Cheddar, Suzanne Hendrickson, and Zyla on Bandcamp. I'm gonna be honest here. If Snopes can kill your comedy, Babylon Bee, you have some weak, beta-ass comedy. Like, maybe it deserves to die. Come on.